All right, Mr. Taliaferro TV, how's everybody doing out there? Travis Scott is set to grace that Super Bowl stage alongside Maroon 5 and Big Boy, one half of the infamous group Outkast, Atlanta's own Outkast, and he's receiving a quite bit of backlash for his decision. Now, T.I. and Nick Cannon are the latest people to criticize Travis Scott's decision to perform at the halftime show, the biggest event in our country that's set to take place in about a week from Sunday, right? So remember, a few weeks ago, Meek Mill called Travis Scott out for his decision to perform at the Super Bowl. He was like, stay strong in this shit. And I told you guys I didn't understand that because Meek Mill was on social media voicing his pleasure for his Philadelphia Eagles, who were doing good at the time, and he was acknowledging that he was watching football. I told y'all I didn't get that. So it's okay to watch the game, but it wasn't okay to receive a bag, according to Meek Mill. I didn't understand that. Now, according to Nick Cannon, it's about who you date. This is what he told Rack Rants. Salute to Ray Kale over there at TMZ, who does a great job. She recently interviewed Nick Cannon, and this is what he said in regards to Travis Scott and his decision to perform at the Super Bowl. He said, I call it cultural equity. We not mad at Big Boy, he's for the people. But someone like Travis Scott, he gotta walk more gingerly. It's more about truly having integrity to who you are in your music and your art form. The people you choose to interact with, the people you choose to procreate with. That decision wasn't for the culture. All right, he went on to say, the decision wasn't for the culture, but we're not mad at you. So again, it looks like Nick Cannon is talking about Travis Scott's decision to have a baby with Kylie Jenner. And it looks like he's saying because of the type of music that Travis Scott makes, the fan base that he has, and again, who he decided to have a kid with, he has to walk a thinner slope than a guy like Big Boy, who Nick Cannon quotes as saying he's for the culture, right? I don't really understand that, to be honest with you. To me, we're playing a game of who's blacker than who, and I don't like that. To me, that's more problematic than anything. It's like you're saying you're treating Travis Scott like a guy who's not black. Travis Scott's a black man. You know, you're telling him he needs to walk a thinner slope because of who he decided to date or have a kid with. I don't understand that. I've told y'all countless times, Travis Scott music ain't really for me. I like a few records that he got, but it ain't just what I'm bumping out to. But that man has always been consistent to, from what I've seen, it looks like he's been consistent to his brand and his fan base. He's never shown me that he's trying to be Kendrick Lamar or J. Cole with that fan base. He's never tried to do that. And for you to say Big Boy gets a pass to perform at the Super Bowl just because he's down for the people, like Travis Scott is getting the NFL to donate $500,000 to a pro-black cause. I'm trying to understand what's more for the people than that. Like, how does Big Boy get a pass? I don't understand that. And if you want me to take a step further with Nick, yo, Nick, Mariah Carey, somebody that you quote-unquote procreated with, she's gotten backlash for being bougie and not of the culture in the last few years. So how are you going to judge that man who he decided to have a kid with? And further than that, Nick Cannon has been on record of saying he has had sexual relations with Kim Kardashian. She's in that Kardashian-Jenner family. She's the ringleader. So you're telling me we got to judge Travis Scott and not judge you all because you decided to wear a condom and he didn't? That makes no sense to me. I don't want to play that game with other black people. Like, we're not finna play the game of who deserves to be black and who deserves to say this and that. Dude ain't never shown me that he's trying to have the Kendrick Lamar, J. Cole fan base. What's wrong with that? I ain't mad at that. And I'm not even the biggest Travis Scott fan. Let's swing over to T.I. Got a lot of respect for Clifford Harris. And let me make myself clear. There's a difference between T.I. critiquing Travis Scott's decision to perform at the Super Bowl and Meek Mill. According to T.I., at the beginning of the year, he said he's not watching any NFL action. As long as he stays true to that, I'm fine with any critique that he has of Travis Scott. Let's make that clear. Like, he said he's not watching the NFL this year. He planned on boycotting it the entire year. I think that's different from Meek Mill, who said he was watching the game, but he didn't want Travis to perform, and he said stay strong in this shit. There's a difference there. T.I. has every right to give his critique. Again, I disagree with the critique, but that man has every right to give his critique on Travis Scott's decision. Here's what he said. TMZ called him in the streets the other day. He said, I think every man has an opportunity. He can make a decision for himself or he could be selfless. And nobody can tell someone when to be selfless. That's every man's right to choose that moment for themselves. So if this ain't something that he wanted to be selfish about, hopefully in the future we'll see other moments where he will. You dig? So in so many words, T.I. called Travis Scott's decision to perform at the Super Bowl selfish. I'm not mad at that. Only thing I would say about that is, T.I., I would like that same energy to be directed to Big Boy as well. Again, if you're going to call Travis Scott out for that, I don't want to play this game of who we think is black because they might have a little more street cred. So Big Boy might have more street cred than Travis Scott, right? So now does that mean we give Big Boy a pass to perform at this event? Like, I don't want to do that. I'm not saying T.I.'s doing it. I'm just saying, like, I just want it fair all across the board. If y'all going to call Travis out, I want that same energy for Big Boy. He's picking up that same bag. He's promoting that same event. I just want that energy across the board. I don't want any hate pointed at Travis Scott because he's in the position to get that Super Bowl bid. Only so many artists can get that spot, and we got a one of ours, or at least as close to one of ours we've had in a long time. Like outside of Beyonce doing the Super Bowl, and obviously Bruno, he's pop, right? And Beyonce's pop whether she knows it or not. We don't get the opportunity to have guys who make music predominantly with hip-hop acts on that stage. And again, I get Travis Scott got that spot because he crosses over into like rock, metal rock. Like he crosses a lot of lines, but at the end of the day, for the most part, when he drops a project, it's with hip-hop acts. He does a lot of features with hip-hop acts. So to a degree, that's one of ours. It just took him a little crossing over to get that spot. I ain't mad at homie for having that opportunity. I ain't calling him out for that. I told y'all I've watched the NFL all season. I don't understand the boycott. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me. I've actually had NFL players hit me up and tell me they watch me on YouTube and they appreciate my stance. If we're gonna play the game of boycotting, I'm fine with doing it as long as we do it to every company that doesn't have black people at the forefront. I'm fine with doing it, but don't tell me you boycotting the NFL because they don't have black people at the forefront when you'll still throw on Tommy Hilfiger, a guy who's flat-foot said, I don't want black people wearing my clothes. You'll still throw on these top-notch brands, and you know they not for black people. They never made their clothes for black people, and yet we still rock their clothes all the time. That don't make sense to me. Doesn't make sense at all to me. I don't see why we're picking the NFL over, again, Colin Kaepernick has never stopped taking meetings with NFL teams. That's a fact. I'm not telling you an opinion. I'm telling you a fact, right? He hasn't boycotted the NFL. It looks like the right opportunity has not come up for him. Yes, it seems like he's getting blackballed. Let's admit that, right? But in reality, though, teams have reached out to Cap, and I've been told in a couple opportunities, Cap has declined to join the team because it wasn't the right situation. If he's not boycotting the NFL, I just don't understand this narrative that's being put out there that we gotta boycott a place that's making young black people millionaires. I'm not with that. We need wealth in the hood, and that's an opportunity that allows people to empower people in their cities, make people their managers, put them on a roll with them, help black people get money. Like, I'm not with that. I am not with boycotting just that one business. If we're gonna do that, I want it all across the board. All right, I'm not saying Travis Scott has to perform. I'm just not saying that he doesn't have to perform. I'm not mad at either way. Thank y'all so much for the time, love, and support. Y'all talk to me in the comment box below. Have y'all been watching the NFL this season? Will you be watching the Super Bowl? What's up? Y'all talk to me. What y'all think about what Nick Cannon and T.I. said to young Travis Scott? I'm out. I came from nothing, but I want everything God has for me. I interview celebrities. I talk sports. I still represent the culture.
Got the kids, they you are now tuned in.
Yeah, we locked in right now, Mr.
TALIAFERRO.
Mr. TALIAFERRO.
Mr. TALIAFERRO.
Mr. TALIAFERRO.
Shout out to Mr. TALIAFERRO.
You watching Mr. TALIAFERRO TV.
Mr. TALIAFERRO TV. Here with the triple B's, you can't do nothing but win.